The date is the 24th of June 2016 and my country has just voted to leave the European Union. I'm sorry I don't look my best in this video, and I'm probably not going to script it. I haven't scripted it and I'm not sure if I'll edit it. I just needed to sit down and get my thoughts out on this because I am so upset that this is the result of the referendum. I am so upset that we are leaving the EU. I guess one condolence could be seen in the fact that it was so close, but even that means that almost half of the UK's population is going to have to live with a decision that they didn't choose and are going to be affected by this massive thing that they didn't choose, which is a very, very large proportion. And I think in some respects that was a problem with this referendum. I think it would have been very useful if it had been a majority vote, and we would only leave if the majority, by a long way, well not a long way, but more than just half percent wanted to leave. Because there are a great deal of us now that are really angry and upset about what's happening but have no choice or say in the matter now because the decision has been made and we're leaving the fucking EU. This was the first major referendum that I had the pleasure of voting in, and although I'm glad my vote has been counted, I really can understand from this why some people don't vote, because I feel like my vote was in vain. Although it was so close, so it is good that I did vote, I do also feel that there was no point in me voting because I'm now having to go along with something that will affect my future that I did not ask for. I found it really frustrating when I found many of these graphs that show what age range voted what, and the vast majority of people under the age of 40, in fact most of them, voted to remain. And it's all people that are over 40, and especially in the really upper end of the age meter or whatever, that voted to leave. And I think that is another problem that we have with our voting system in the UK, that it's the young people that a lot of these votes affect, the outcome affects. And we are the ones, we make a lot of noise, I think, because we are the most frequent users of social media and we're more likely to make our voice heard. But I think not enough of us vote, which is really annoying. And if you were eligible to and didn't vote in this referendum, then you should be ashamed of yourself, honestly, because this is such a big thing for our country, and if you didn't vote because you just couldn't be bothered, then I really am very disappointed in you. So many people vote nowadays who are older people, and that's fine, they should have their say, but I feel like there's a massive divide in opinion between the younger people in our country and the older people, and that is problematic because it happened with the last general election when it seemed like Labour were going to get a large proportion of the vote. Seemed like Labour were fine because it was us young people who kind of saw Labour's policies to be the most beneficial and made a lot of noise about it online. But in the end of it, it was a lot of older people that were voting for the Conservatives because they liked their policies or they were scared of change, that voted the Conservatives in, and that we've had to deal with that for so many years. So I think definitely it's a shame that these people vote for things that aren't necessarily going to have that much effect on their lifetime, but are really going to impact the younger generations, and we don't really get our say. And on that matter also, I think 16 and 17 year olds, I don't think they should have the vote on everything, but I think it's definitely something to consider because they were a lot more affected by this than someone in their 90s. They're a lot more affected by the repercussions that will come by us leaving, and I think they should have a say in this, and I think that it's only fair for them to be able to decide their future rather than an ageing population that isn't going to be around to see many of the repercussions. I'm also a little bit scared by everyone's reaction to Donald Trump, because as a country, we've spent so long being kind of shocked and flabbergasted at how people in America can support Trump and go along with his blind rallying and stuff. But as soon as he comes here and says stuff about our referendum that, again, is very similar to the stuff we're saying in America, it's empty, there's no back to it, and he's just kind of saying the sort of thing that will rile people up, saying we've taken our country back, the UK has taken their country back, and suddenly loads of people are acting in the exact same way as Trump supporters in America and supporting someone who has a very, very empty policies and is just someone that gets people excited for things, gets people pumped up for ideals, but doesn't deliver actual policies or actual beneficial things in any way, really. And that really scares me, because I didn't think we would ever be in a position as a country where we were but siding with Donald Trump. And I think the fact that he's so enthusiastic about this referendum and the fact that we've decided to leave is quite a large indicator as to that it was a bad idea. Also, Nigel Farage is a man that we all hate, or if we don't, then I don't know why I don't hate him. But yeah, this morning on a breakfast TV programme, he pretty much immediately, after making a claim about the amount of money we would have for the NHS if we left the EU, turned around and said that that was a mistake and that we're not going to have that much money for the NHS and it might suffer, and also said that he thought that the Remain vote would win. So if he's someone that's campaigning to leave and thought that the Remain vote would win, I just think that's a no-brainer. That's ridiculous. Like, I've heard a lot of people on the news who said stuff like, oh, well, I voted leave because I didn't think it would really happen, you know, I thought the Remain would win, and now that it has happened, I'm scared, I don't know what we're doing. Like, that is... I think if you weren't sure how to vote, you should have voted Remain, because if we all vote Remain and we stay, we can leave the EU, we can have another referendum, we can leave the EU whenever, whereas now that we've left the EU, that is final. We can't just be like, oh, you let us back in, you know, things aren't quite working out. That is final. And to say that people weren't actually sure and just voted to leave anyway, I think that is ridiculous and very silly, and it's not going to be beneficial to us as a country. So yeah, I don't know if I've said everything I want to say, but I just needed to rant a bit because I'm very upset at the decision that our country has made this morning, and yeah, I feel a bit helpless because I know it's going to affect me and many of the young people and how we live our lives from now on, but there's nothing we can do for it because we've tried to make our voice heard, we've tried to give our opinion, but it's been squashed down by our ageing population, who, to be honest, are actually the most favoured people in terms of economics and in terms of decision making. We give so much money to our older population, and the money that they're getting now, we're not going to get when we get to their age. We're not going to have the pensions they're having. And yeah, I just think our country is very swayed at the moment towards the older population, and I don't think that is healthy. So yeah, those were some of my thoughts on the EU referendum. Sorry if you disagree with me, but I just needed to get them out into the world.